Okay, so episode 115, and I think this week we should talk a bit more about anxiety and low feelings and lower vibrational thoughts. I've had a few messages this week of people really struggling with just feeling out of control, feeling low, and not able to talk about things because they feel like it will push people away. And this is really, really common, right? We want to, we hear so much about keep away from negativity. And I think that can be really toxic, actually. Fill your feed, fill your life with positive people. And actually, that's just a label, right? It's saying that some people are positive, you're putting them in that camp. Some people are negative and anxious and low vibrational. And actually, we all can experience highs and lows and in betweens. And no human is kind of exempt from feeling fear, doubt, judgment, negativity. But then we can all have moments of peace, joy. And I've been having days where a wave of extreme anxiety will come over me. And I know that actually, if I resist that feeling and try and hide away from it and suppress it down, it's not good for me. So sometimes we have to sit with these feelings. Oh, I'm feeling anxious. Ouch, I don't like that. I don't like this at all. And it's actually saying, well, that's fine. It's okay to let it come like a wave. But then we can always change our vibrational state, right? There's so many things we can do. And for me, my favorites would be, as many of you will know, going to a cold reservoir or the sea. And literally I'll connect, whether I'm in the water and I'm breathing and the sun's beaming down on me or it's a bit choppy. I just get to that place. It's like I've raised from any anxiety or lower vibrational thoughts right to like, oh, I feel at peace now. There's ways to change that vibrational state. I was interviewed on an amazing podcast this week, and we were speaking about, you know, when we feel these low energies. So just say you're on the couch and you're thinking, I've had enough of this. I hate not being in control. I can't stand not even being able to like book a holiday or have friends around or go and see my mom, or, you're having these thoughts. And it can be very, very easy to write certain days off, right? And I've been there, trust me, in recovery from a really serious illness. And I felt so low and like I've been hit by a train. And I've had to say, right, I'm on the sofa, I'm feeling these low vibrational thoughts, but I have a choice now. I can get up. I can go for a bounce with the kids on the trampoline. I can walk around the block and then go again if it's getting too hard. There's always something we can do to change that vibrational state. And I try and put a lot of content out about this, whether it's just me singing and looking crazy to some people singing down the phone, but that changes my vibrational state. Getting in the water changes it. Exercise and movement changes it. And I've really tried, as part of my well-being plan, to eliminate the excuses to the point that it's been really icy and hard to get those steps up. So I got a treadmill. I was like, this is my commitment to myself. So this morning when I woke up, I had 40 minutes on the treadmill before my first meeting. And I went into that meeting, I had a wee cold shower after. I went into that meeting feeling energized, and she was asking quite a lot of quite tough questions, but the answers were there. And I think it was because I allowed myself space, and that movement can, regenerate us and bring more energy back. There's always something that we can do to change those thoughts. There's always, it's a choice. And as I say, you can't resist them and you can't fear them. You kind of need to let them come and see them like waves. Now, when I first got into mindfulness a couple of years ago, we learn all about how we see the thoughts and we distance ourselves from the thoughts. So you see them perhaps like a wave, or you visualize them like a cinema screen, right? And the screen is like making all these kind of movements or colors, and your thoughts are playing out in front of you, but you step back, you've distanced yourself, and you can almost become an observer of your thoughts. But also what we learn, and when you can get into meditation and mindfulness, is not to judge those thoughts, because if you distance yourself from them and see them as an observer, you're not judging them. You're just saying, oh, that's a really anxious thought. Isn't that interesting? And you come to each thought with a place of curiosity and compassion rather than fear and frustration or confusion. So if I'm finding myself thinking, that person's really annoying me, isn't that interesting that I'm being judgmental? I wonder where that came from. I wonder what my old programs are for me to judge that person, because when we judge others, it's a reflection of our own stuff. So isn't it interesting? I wonder where I learned that. I wonder where I picked that up, because innately we are not meant to be, okay, we could go into how the brain is wired and how it's judging is perhaps to keep us safe, to assess in a situation. Okay, I get that. But when we're at peace, right? Those moments, for example, when I'm in the cold lake, the reservoir, when I'm walking and getting some good inspiration, or just feeling nice, the sun's beaming on me, or when I'm singing a song at the top of my lungs and I'm like, yeah, I'm alive. Boom, 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 boom. If you're alone and you need a friend, I'm just focusing on the lyrics and the song and the beat. Someone to make you forget your problem. If I'm learning it on piano, I'm focusing on the tunes, and I'm kind of just in a place of contentment, and I'm in a place of non-resistance, right? We strip all these layers away, we strip all the rubbish away, we strip all the programming away. We're left with that kid, right? That child who needs love, who just knows how to love, the child who knows how to have fun, the child who plays. And then you can challenge these layers. Perhaps as a child you were playing and having the time of your life, and someone said, stop being so ridiculous, grow up, you're being too noisy, pipe down. These old programs are still part of us, and sometimes it's a daily check-in to show yourself self-compassion, understanding, love. I often say, when we can live through our intuition and our imagination instead of our memory, the memory can serve us, but only to an extent. Sometimes we need to unlearn things that we've picked up over the years. We need to take a step back and think about, oh, where did this come from? Don't judge it, as I said, but take a step back and think, right, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be a judgmental person. And when I say judgmental, it could just be that your mind is judging you. Or who are you to, say that? Who wants to hang out with you? No, don't contact that friend and ask to go for a walk. They're not going to want to see you. Um, don't sing, and don't do that. That's just so childish. You're so stupid. You're such a, the mind can be judgmental of others, but of course we need to really watch when it's judgmental of ourselves as well, because I always say to people that are getting really, really low thoughts, they're not true, right? And our mind, somewhere something's just gone a little bit wrong. We've perhaps listened to someone who wasn't happy themselves and was, deflecting their issues onto you. A lot of these learned behaviors, that they're not from a bad place. They're just, perhaps from a confused place, perhaps from a, generational pattern. And it's really learning to unpick some of that stuff and to pour some self-compassion. So say that you're feeling really anxious, really low. Right, okay, I'm going to observe. I'm the observer. They're not who I really am, because who I really am, love, play, lightness, peace, joy. A lot of this other stuff, we've learned it to keep us safe. Safety is an intention that so many of us have, right? So I'm going to judge that person to keep me safe. I'm going to not let my guard down to keep me safe. Perhaps you feel like you want to protect your reputation. Well, what is a reputation when we break it down? A reputation is the opinion of someone else. I did a silly vlog reel thing with the kind of troll app. So I've put the troll on, and the troll is kind of symbolic of all the dark thoughts we can get, the darker side, the, you know, not the lighter shades. And then the troll saying, don't talk about your problems, you know, no one wants to hear it. And I was just speaking to one of my blog readers last night, and I said to her, is there someone close to you can speak about all these feelings? And her response was, but nobody wants to hear it, might push them away. Now, that was the troll, that was the mind, that was the naughty monkey mind that we need to tune into, right? And we need to distance, observe. I'm noticing that I'm thinking no one cares about me. I'm noticing, I'm thinking if I'm honest and I speak out and I'm authentic, that it's going to push people away. I'm noticing that I'm feeling all of this negative stuff. I'm noticing that I'm feeling unworthy of love and friendship. I'm noticing that I'm feeling like my feelings aren't valid. You're noticing them, be it like waves or on a screen, but you're observing them and you're distancing yourself from that. That's what mindfulness is. We come into the moment, we notice what's going on, we check in to see how we're feeling. Are we busy in our head, or are we calm in a deeper place? Are we heart-led? Are we doing things we really, really love that have a purpose, and, you know, living out your passion, right? That's going to fulfill something, whether it's going to inspire someone, or it's going to light you up, or it's something that a skill you can use to raise the vibration of other people. You know, when we can do something or use a passion to raise the vibration of other people, we feel great. But first we need to check in with our own feelings and our own thoughts and just step back a little bit. Because when we're in that low anxiety, fear, stress, judgment, it's very, very hard to make an impact and help others when we're not present ourselves, when we're not self-aware. You know, I often question still and try and turn that analyzer down, but there are days where I think, how did I go from feeling so happy to being so unwell and so negative in ways, and so scared. And when I mean scared, I mean terrified. I actually thought some people were trying to poison me that loved me. I actually thought some people were trying to gaslight me. I was so suspicious and so scared of the world. And how could I have got to that point, having a couple of months before been dancing around my kitchen, helping people get their mojo back and feeling really happy? How could I have got to that point where I was so low and I became an actual troll to myself and sometimes to those that love me? How did I get so unwell? And I think part of that was overstimulation of the mind, you know, not having enough time to really stop thinking. And I did a lot of meditation, but there was a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of meditation and a lot of self-development, but perhaps not enough stillness. And when I mean stillness, you know, just connecting with nature and not thinking about anything else you need to do. You know, at the back of my mind, there was always, need to get this book finished, need to get this video out, need to get this TV crew around to talk about this, there was such a long list. And I remember speaking to my mental health nurse in recovery and telling her the sort of list of stuff I had on at the time. And she was like, oh my goodness, that is insane. And you were doing all that on your own? Did you have a team to help you? I said, well, not really. I was doing a lot of it on my own. And then I was doing the school run a lot, and I was baking with the kids when I got back, and I was just going to networking events. You know, and if I was doing family things to switch off, a lot of it was through the blog. So I would be leaving reviews. So it wasn't really switched off because they'd want to see pictures of the place we visited. And almost it was like, right, I need to start turning down some of the free invitations so that I can just go to a reservoir and not have to review it, you know. I can just switch my mind off. And, you know, perhaps you're an empath, and as someone who's really, really sensitive to other people's feelings, if you don't have boundaries and you don't protect yourself, I would allow myself to cry deeply with people and really feel their story and connect with their emotions with no boundaries. And I perhaps didn't realize um, how that could be damaging for me over time, because I'm mirroring, I'm taking on. So perhaps you're trying to help people all the time and you're mirroring these feelings because you're an empath and you feel deeply, so you're going there with them. And even though you may have a high at the end of an interview and you've got hope and you're singing and stuff, you've gone there and you've not put a boundary there and you've felt it, and you're meeting a lot of people and you're feeling it, and you're sensitive, so you're picking up on things and you can feel what other people are thinking. If something's off and you want to help them, you want to help everyone. But when I was in hospital, I learned that actually the people that were really broken, they were just constantly thinking about everyone else. And in mindfulness, someone said to me, you need to be selfish sometimes. It's not a bad word. And I had to really challenge my own programs and think, where did I learn that? And I remember my mom saying, oh, don't be selfish. Or perhaps maybe she'd called me selfish, and it really stuck. And I thought, oh, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be a selfish person. And I really, really feared the word selfish, to the point that I would put all my needs to the back pile sometimes. Think about words that you're carrying, think about labels that you're carrying, and then see how you can distance yourself from them. See how you can inject a little bit mojo, inject a little bit kindness, inject a little bit of something just for you. Maybe what have I done that's just for me that could encourage you? So, homeschooling, juggling projects. I've gone away for a couple of hours some days to get in the cold water, or to put my wireless headphones on and to sing, to go for a run, to take the time on the treadmill, to go for a hot bath and sneak away. And it's really, really important that we get the time to do these things. What can you do? Where is your happy place? What can you do that's just for you? What can you do that lifts you up, raises your vibration? And also just checking in with how you're feeling. Getting a journal out and writing down how you're feeling, and then observing that and seeing what you can do to lift yourself up again. What books can I read? What podcasts can I listen to? Well, time for a mojo injection. Welcome. Um, what what accounts can I follow on social media that boost me up? What music can I listen to this week? What playlist can I make to give me a boost? Who can I go on a walk with to chat and have fun? What makes me laugh? What movie or what comedy can I put on? What creative project can I do to sort of boost me up when the world can feel monotonous? What can I do with my kids that's fun and a sense of play and adventure? What can I do to my, meditation, prayer, spiritual practices that I can do to check myself in and to raise my vibration of faith, to feel more faith and hope in the world? What can I do to be kind to myself? What can I do that just makes me feel calm? It's so important to have that time, even if it's something simple like buying yourself a really nice bottle of red wine, or I really making something that you love and just eating it mindfully, and pouring love over it and enjoying the process, cooking mindfully, eating mindfully, spending time out in the snow, doing things that just get you out of this noisy mind. And I've said before as well, just having like a tracker to track how much you're moving in the day is so good for us, because when we, these daily steps are there for a reason, right? We're meant to move around 10,000 steps a day minimum. When you're not moving that amount, how do you feel? You feel sluggish, right? When you are, you get energy, you're boosted up. So yeah, just be kind to yourself. There's always a way to raise those vibrations up, but acceptance. It has to start with acceptance first. And then you need to have a toolkit there of things that you know work for you. And you know when you know, because you felt those moments of, and if you're struggling to think of your thing, think of times where you're just out of that head and in that mojo. I guarantee music will be one of them. Think of those times where you're doing something and wow, half an hour's passed. How did that happen? Do more of that. Do more of that. And, you know, if you're busy, you're trying to juggle work and homeschooling and all that, you still need to take a break for you. You know, I love companies that are saying calls are banned over lunch. You know, no, that's your time to go and connect, to go and slow down, to get outside. Doing calls through your lunch break, through times where you need to slow down, that has to stop. I have been there in the past where I thought I have no time to go for a pee, and I'm actually so sad that I felt that way, but I was enjoying my work. But you still need to have time to go to the loo or to go for a walk. You just need to make that time. The busier you are, the more you need it, because when you're not getting that time, you're not performing at your best. You need that time so much. So just a short pep talk this week on episode 115 of Time for a Mojo Injection. Sending you so much love, and I will put a little meditation link that I've been asked to do a meditation for people that are feeling anxious and low. So I've put that together. I'll put this in the notes under this video, under this podcast. You will see the link to that. So go give yourself some love, listen to the meditation every day if you can. And we can start to be kinder and to be more mindful of those thoughts and challenge them as the observer. Be kind to yourself. So much mojo, so much love, and all the good vibes to you. Mwah.